Edward brought his special train of scrap from around the big harbor to a small scrapyard on his branch line. The Fat Controller had given them the contract of taking all of the rusted machinery and junk off the railway's hands. Edward pulled this special train of scrap down his branch line twice a week. The yard that it is taken to is always littered with broken machinery and cars. They are broken down and melted into cubes before being sent to an ironworks to be reused. Today there was a surprise waiting for Edward when he came. A little traction engine sat alone and cold near one of the sidings. He looked very sad. Edward gave a friendly smile. "Hello, you're not broken and rusty. What are you doing here?" "My name's Trevor," the traction engine said glumly. "They're gonna break me up next week." "Oh dear, why ever for?" "Master says he doesn't need me anymore and sent me here." "Is there something wrong with you?" "Driver says I only need some oil, paint, and polish to be as good as new." "You seem in tip-top condition." "Master said I'm old-fashioned and got a new angled tractor." "People say I'm old-fashioned, but I don't care. My controller says I'm really useful." "My driver Dem says so too. He says he's never driven a better vehicle. He said if he could afford it, he'd buy me himself because I'm a versatile machine. I have never given up on a job or broken down. Never," Trevor finished proudly. Just then, the train was cleared to leave and Edward got going. "I'll find someone to buy you," he called, "and that's a promise." Edward considered the problem during the whole run down to the harbor to exchange trucks. "Broken up, what a shame. Broken up, what a shame. We must do something to save Trevor. We must," he chuntered. Edward thought of all of his friends along the branch line who liked engines, but strangely, none of them had room for a traction engine at home. Edward ran back up the branch line with a new goods train. He whistled politely to Trevor as he passed the scrapyard and ran right into the next station. Edward cheered in delight, for there, standing on the platform, could be Trevor's saving grace. "Good morning, Sid. Morning, Charlie. What's with the long face, Edward?" "There's a traction engine in the scrapyard, Vicar. Jem Coles. You know how much he talks up his traction engine, but Mr. Windle seems to not share the same views. Cole says he's never driven a finer engine." "Do save him, sir. He's never broken down, and I'm sure Mr. Cole will come with him." "We'll see. I do need a farm vehicle to look after the orchard. I'll check him out tomorrow." Edward cheered in delight and didn't stop beaming for the rest of the day. Jem Cole came the next morning. "Chin up, Trevor. The vicar's coming to see you this evening. He's interested in buying you." "Oh, he did find me a new home. Do you think he'll buy me?" "He'll have to once I've lit your fire and polished you off." The vicar arrived that evening with his two boys. Trevor was wishing steam happily. "So, Trevor, what do you do?" "Anything, sir. I can haul timber and wood around, pull carts and give people rides. I even plow fields from time to time. I like giving children rides more than anything else." "Perfect. Show me your paces, Trevor." Trevor chuffed up and down the yard happily. The boys took turns riding on him and were easily convinced in Trevor's usefulness. The vicar took a ride on him too, and then went to the yard office. Trevor, Jem Cole, and the boys waited anxiously before the vicar burst out of the office beaming. "I got him cheap, Jem, cheap!" They all cheered and the boys jumped around. "All right, Trevor, let's go to your new home." Trevor now happily lives at the vicarage orchard, close to the railway. He often sees the trains pass by, but he is most happy when he sees Edward. He does many jobs around the orchard, and when work is light, he travels out to help the farmers in the hills. But his favorite job of all is at the church fete. That is when he gives rides to children around the orchard. On many lazy summer days, you can see him dozing in the dazzling sunlight, thinking about how lucky he is to be in his little shed at the bottom of the orchard.